So how do you play Cell? How do you make the most of his attacks, his moves, his reach? That's what today's video is all about. My name's Globku, and welcome to our character profile for Cell. Before we even get to his special moves, I want to talk about a couple of moves that are unique to Cell and really strong in battle. And I'm actually going to start with something that shows up on his move list as a special skill, which is the step in low kick, with forward plus the heavy attack button. Most characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ will deal a heavy hit with this button combination that causes the opponent to bounce off the wall. Cell, however, steps in and kicks low, which is a good attack with a decent range for a low attack. But when it comes to low attacks, I do think that Cell has an even better option that is not listed on this move list. And I'm talking about the forward plus the medium attack button, which does this. Let's call it the slide low kick, unofficial name, trademark pending. As you can see, the range of this low kick is even better. It's great for prolonging combos, for mixing up your opponent, and you can even follow up this kick with Cell Super. So it's just a great tool for Cell. Finally, where you're in the air, the special attack button does this. Let's call it the full ground explosion, because this explosion covers pretty much the entire ground and forces the opponent to either jump or block. So it's an awesome zoning ability and something to keep in mind when playing Cell. Alright, let's get to his specials. Cell's first special is the KAMEHAMEHA with quarter circle forward and the special button. While on the ground, Cell can direct his attack forwards or upwards with the directional pad, and he can also shoot the KAMEHAMEHA from the air, but he will always shoot it downwards. And this is also his assist attack. If Cell is called in from the assist position, he will shoot a downwards KAMEHAMEHA from the air. Cell's second special attack is the Telekinesis Crush with quarter circle backwards plus the special button. This is unblockable and it has an insane reach. You can grab an opponent from across the screen, giving Cell just another incredible zoning ability. I believe the way to dodge this is to jump, which should be doable given the long animation Cell does before activating this ability, but still, if you call in for assists or mix up with other attacks, it can be easy to hide the animation in the midst of the confusion. Moving on to his attack strikes, first up we've got Hell Strike, which Cell does with down and the medium attack button while in the air. This is a free teleport. Usually teleport attacks cost 1 bar meter and every character can do those, including Cell. So basically if you want to do a Hell Strike and link that into a teleport, you can totally do that. But Hell Strike on its own is completely free. Now it can only be done in the air, so your opponent might be on the lookout for that if he sees you jumping. So again, make sure you mix it up with something. And also this cannot be blocked while crouching. The opponent must be either standing up or jumping to block this attack. So there you go. Strong abilities from a distance and a way to close in without spending any meter at all. Cell is looking pretty strong so far, but we're not done. He's also got other specials that make him really strong at close range, like the perfect attack, for instance, with quarter circle backwards and an attack button. The 3 attack buttons provide a different finisher for this attack, but they all activate roughly the same with a backflip kick that has more or less range depending on the attack button you press. The light attack version ends with our trademark pending slide low kick, so you know you can link it into a super should you so desire. The medium attack version ends with kicking the opponent upwards, and the heavy attack version ends in a wall bounce. All 3 versions can be followed up with a level 3 super, but only the light attack version can be followed up with a level 1, unless you interrupt this attack before the final hit, because once you send your opponent flying, it's too late to reach him. There's another version if you do this attack while in the air, in which Cell comes back to the ground and finishes the opponent with a back-breaking grab. And you can follow this back-breaking grab with pretty much anything you want, even a super dash to unleash a new combo in the air. And finally, we have Cell's final special attack, the Rolling Crush, with quarter circle forwards plus an attack button. Cell hits the opponent a bunch and finishes it with an overhead strike. The attack button you press will determine how far Cell travels with the Rolling Crush, but no matter what version you do, you can cancel right after the last hit to combo it into a level 1 or level 3 super. That means you can go straight from an overhead strike into a super attack. And you know what that means, right? If you can go from the slide low kick, trademark pending, or the rolling crush into a super, that means you can follow up a super with a low attack or an overhead. So it's all a matter of mixing up your opponent. The only downside here is that the rolling crush is very easy to read, because only the very last strike is an overhead. Everything else is a medium attack. So players will have time to react and stand up if they're blocking low, but still, that's a lot more options than most characters have. And we talked about supers a bunch, so it's time we cover them. Cell has 2 supers, a level 1 1 and a level 3. His level 1 is called the Energy Field, and you can do it with quarter circle forwards plus the right bumper or trigger. And it's a close range explosion that will take you some getting used to. You'll find that you can't really do it in most situations if you're coming from a Ki Blast character like Goku or Vegeta, but after you practice with Cell a little bit, you'll see that most abilities can actually be linked into the energy field. So it's just a matter of practice. If you're missing with this ability a lot, just know that all you need to do is practice, practice, practice. More often than not, you'll need to cancel abilities if you want the energy field to hit, and it's also great to use as a counter attack. If the energy field does hit, this is also the perfect setup for a follow-up assist character super, but on the other hand, it's not the best super if Cell is the one coming in from the assist position to follow up another character super. And his level 3 is a full screen Ki Blast that can only be done from the ground. It's the solar Kamehameha with quarter circle backwards and the right bumper or trigger, and it's pretty much what you would expect. As far as auto combos go, this is what happens when you mash the light attack button. And this is what happens when you mash the medium attack button. And now that we know his abilities, let's learn how to use them. You may have noticed at this point that Cell is a pretty big guy, and his reach is definitely relative to his size. Just his normal punches and kicks outrange most characters' normals. And that's something you won't find in any character's move list. So what are his strengths and weaknesses? Well, I can answer half that question because he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses in his movesets, to be honest. It's not like he's a balanced character who can do everything like Goku, but it's not really an expert in particular. No, he's actually got some of the best zoning in the game. He's also really strong at close range. He's got decent mix-up. He's also got great combo potential, so it's all about knowing what to use given the situation and given what you want to do. You want to keep your distance? Great! Use the Kamehameha or the full ground explosion or even the telekinesis crush. And if your opponent rushes you, no problem. Use the Hell Strike and you'll teleport to his position and switch sides, or use the perfect attack, which also works as an anti-air move. And just like that, you can kick him off into a distance again. Or better yet, just counter him with an energy field and he'll think twice before super dashing again. You want to stay close to your opponent and rush him down? Also great. Mix your opponent up with a rolling crush and your step in low kick, or our trademark pending slide low kick. But do be careful at close range, because I think if Cell has anything that's close to a weakness, is being too close to the opponent. Because of his reach and ranged attacks, I think Cell excels from medium to long distances. But if you're too close to your opponent, faster characters like Vegeta will have the upper hand. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you just keep your distance. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. Cell is very good at zoning. But if you can somehow get close and still keep those smaller characters out of reach, you'll do great in melee range as well. Thank you for watching our character profile for Cell. I really believe he's one of the strongest characters in the roster right now, and he's my #1 regret from the beta because I really wish I had more time to master his moves, but hey, we gotta have something to do when the game comes out, right? Let us know who you guys want us to cover next time in the comments down below, and if you guys missed last week's character profile, it's Future Trunks. Go check out the video up there for some tips on how to play that guy. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom, but as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Boy!